Hi, today I'm going to show you how to use Paysafe as a merchant in order to process payment on the Android intelligent smartphone, using Google Pay. So basically the way it works is that the user opens your application, choose whatever he wants to buy, and click on checkout. When he goes to checkout, there's a button that gives him the option to pay with Google Pay. Once he clicks on Google Pay, the credit cards that are registered in his account in Google Pay are showed. He chooses one, and then the payment is processed and the money is transferred to the store. Obviously, the store could be you, could be someone you work for if you develop the application for someone else. So, more technically, here it is how it works. First, the user goes into application, your Android app, and decide to check out with Google Pay. Once you decide to check out with Google Pay, your application has to open an external intent activity from another application, which is Google Play Services, where the user is asked to choose for a credit card. Once the user chooses a credit card and this activity, which is belongs to Google, here you see the debit Visa debit number, whatever it is. But if he already has it registered on his phone and Google Play, then he's just going to choose whatever is there. Once he chooses that, your application gets a token that has no information on it. The token is just a reference to this credit card. So you don't have any information on the credit card. It's not even encrypted by you. You just have a token. This token is sent to Paysafe API. Paysafe, the Paysafe merchant take it, and if you want getaway merchant, I don't know what you want to call this. He takes it, he goes to Google, and he asks Google with the token that he got, what are the credit card infos, address, number, whatever he needs. He gets information from Google, he takes that information, and he sends you a temporary token. This token is good for 15 minutes, and this token is probably not containing any information about the creator or anything. You just have a token that is good for 15 minutes as a reference on Paysafe Cloud in order to process a payment. You will take that token in your application, mobile application. You have to send it to a cloud application that you have to build yourself. And from that cloud application, you're going to send it to PayPal to process the application. I mean, your mobile asks your cloud application, website, whatever it is, to process the payment. That cloud application communicates with Paysafe to process the payment. Paysafe go gets their money and transfer the money with the bank API. Just a little parenthesis here. The way it works is that there's the getaway and there's the merchant. This is very confusing. Getaway is just a service that lets you check if the money is in the account, and the merchant is actually a service where the money is withdrawn from the account. The problem is that if you're gonna withdraw money from the account and there's no money there, then most likely the NSF charge is gonna apply, and the client could get a $45 charge depending on the bank. So there is two different system of services out there. Here, Paysafe plays both roles, and he makes this like a facade for you, so you would not see all this complexity. But Paysafe first checks if the money is in the account and then process the money to take it out. So there's no charges to the client if there's no money. Once the transaction is done, the answer, if it's a success or error or whatever it is answered back to Paysafe. Paysafe answers your request, and your cloud should answer the application. phone application, and this is an error. There's a communication between directly your application to the user. This is like this. Okay, so let's look at the application that we have on GitHub that I put for you to understand all this concept and to have a working example of Paysafe transaction processing through GPay. So if you open the example from GitHub, you'll see um, you'll see the way that I put it is that I put my classes here, 3 activities, and okay, so basically that's what you see here. Let's look at the diagram that I made for you in order to understand it very fast, very quickly. First, you have all the green stuff here is classes from your application. The example on GitHub. The user opened the first activity where's that activity? First activity, main activity, where he basically just has text box, amount, donate. He says the amount of donation, and then the other activity opens up, which is payment method, content payment method, where the user basically could choose between pay with Google and pay with Paysafe. Pay with Paysafe doesn't work, and there's no implementation for that because this example is just to show you how Google Pay works. So if we go back here, once the user click on the button here, pay with Paysafe, the intent is open up in order to process the payment. Excuse me, in order for the user to choose his credit card or whatever he has on Google Play services. Once this is done, the next activity opens up, which is process payment. It's this one, which is right here. Process payment, you just have a confirmation, the amount, and press here to process the payment. How does the process payment work? When you press on the button, process payment, when you press on the button, he opens up, where is it? Thread taken. So he starts a new thread, a new process. The implementation is right here. If you look at the diagram, there is a thread token. It opens up a new thread. That's not an activity. And that thread, that process, takes care of communicating with Paysafe in order to get the temporary token, which is good for 15 minutes. And then it communicates with your, okay, there's a mistake here. It communicates with your cloud in order to process the payment. So your cloud, this is basically a website that you created. Your cloud communicates with Paysafe again with the temporary token, and it goes back to the process, and that process communicates back with the process payments activity, and that activity will show some kind of a toast or a pop-up or something to show to the user some information of what happened. If you download the example from the internet, it's gonna work. The only thing is that the merchant, your cloud service is not been implemented. So maybe I'll make another video for that to explain how to do this, or you could go on Paysafe API and download their thing. Will show you how to do this in different languages. You could do it with C#, PHP, Node.js, and whatever they have there. Okay, so let's look at this very fast. Sorry, let me see how much time we have here. Okay, let's do this very fast. Basically, you have main activity. Main activity has nothing inside. I'm trying to talk fast, to do it fast. I don't want this could take like hours and hours of explanation, so I want to make it very short for you. You have the thing and get up anyway, so create bundle. Okay, so you see a click on it, click where it takes you makes a new content payment method, and he opens that content. He sends it to as an extra. This is how you send parameters to another content. If you know, if you don't know, he sends that information. The next content open up, which is payment method. Payment method is right here. Here we communicate with the intent of Play services, G Play services, Google Play, in order to get the credit card. So there's a lot of code here to do that. See, I have to ask the amount, and this is a string program format, which is very weird, but that's the way it is. They ask you to give you a string format, the amount, and then you have somewhere here this line of code here around 118. Just make sure that in the GitHub, I think it's sandbox or something like that. It has been changed here. I don't know if I'm going to update it on GitHub, but if I don't, make sure that this is not this is an environment test, because if you put sandbox and you have the newest phones, it's just gonna question you. And the problem is, any error you have in this intent, the application would not know what is the problem, because the intent is outside of your application. It's Google services, so it's just gonna tell you an error like try later. And I don't know, because of security reasons, or I don't know what it is, they don't put the information of the error. It's very annoying. Unless they do, and I didn't figure out how to get information. Once you go to production, then you put production. If you put production right away, the application is gonna crash again without any answers, because the Google Play is gonna Google has to approve your application before it goes into production. Basically, that's for that. Let me stop this for 2 seconds to make sure I'm concentrated here. I'm running out of time to make it short for you, so I'm not gonna go over too much about the activity process Google payment activity. You look it out. It's pretty straightforward. It opens the you click on the process. It opens the new thread. Put the token information. But I'm going to show you the thread itself. So in the thread you have this is the constructor and pre-execute, start process, unit is let's say control Q, string, message right string, and you close this. Okay, so you have a post execute, which communicates with the server, I think, here. If you look at it, that communicates with the other one, Paysafe, I think. And then once you get the answer, do in background a single token. No, that's from Paysafe. So you get the single token for Paysafe API client. And then when everything is finishes, when everything finishes, you get basically, you look at it, all the code is here, so it's very straightforward. You'll be able to understand whatever you saw in the diagram right here. What I wanted to tell you, I don't want you to lose time, is this here. You'll have to go to Android manifest if you do it from scratch, and you have to add all this. What is this? Permissions. Don't forget to do this too. Enable the payment on the phone, and also don't forget to import library. Let me go to library. So you have to import JSON from